what's going on, guys? So today I want to give you 3 exercises to help your overall punching performance. Now, I'm not just talking about punching power, and I'm not just talking about strength and mobility. I'm trying to encompass all of that. Now, for the focus points, you want to remember that you want to control or stabilize the entire core region. So again, you want to have proximal stability that will lead to distal mobility. So we're going to increase that core stability, core strength, so that you can have more explosive, more powerful strikes going into the outer extremities. Okay, mobility is obviously going to be another key factor. We want to mobilize the shoulder and the hip, so we want to increase that dexterity and overall range of motion so that you can rotate and throw your punches more efficiently, right? Then again, you're going to have to increase your strength, right? We want to increase that force production, increase the ability to produce that force more efficiently, but also to be able to have strength at the end range of your punch. Okay, then you're gonna go obviously into the power, right? We wanna increase that rate of force, all right? So your overall velocity, right? The explosiveness, how fast you can create force and redirect the movement pattern. So again, you wanna obviously work on your power after you work on your strength and your stability and mobility. All right, so the 3 main exercises that we are gonna utilize today is going to be a serratus anterior activation or wall slide. Now your serratus anterior, it lies on the rib cage in the front part of the body and on the side. So as you go to throw your punch, right, if I'm either I'm throwing my straight, right, or my jab hand, I'm going to have to rotate through and actually utilize my serratus anterior, okay? So what you're going to have to do there is work on that serratus anterior, work on those muscles there so that you can protract that shoulder and make sure that you're rolling that shoulder forward with more overall force. But again, we have to work on the muscles there that induce that movement pattern. Then we're gonna work on a decline bench transverse rotation. So we're talking about the transverse plane. We're gonna get in a decline position because we're gonna activate the muscles of the anterior abs. So again, the front part of your abdominals, we're gonna go ahead and put that on isometric tension. So you're isometrically tensioned there with core stability, and then you're gonna rotate through that transverse plane just like you would throwing your hooks and your twos and things like that, okay? Then you're gonna finish off with a vertical band pull apart. So with the vertical band, you're gonna pull down, right? Activate your lats and then pull that band apart. I always say you can't shoot a cannon out of a canoe. So you have to make sure that your backside has the stability to produce that force going forward. So we want to make sure that we have a battleship back there. So we're going to increase the muscle, we're going to increase the tension and the stability in your posterior chain or in your upper back and lats so that you can produce that force going forward. All right, let's check out the exercises. Okay, so now we're gonna go into serratus anterior wall slide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab an IT band here, nice and light one so that you could still create tension, but it's not overdoing it to where you feel like you have to cave or bring in your elbows out, right? So we wanna make sure that we keep our center aligned. Elbows are in line with our pinkies as we go to slide up. You're gonna take a foam roller, okay? If you don't have a foam roller, you can use valve slides. Also, you could do the wall walk version, but today I'm gonna use the foam roller here so we could roll up and still keep that tension on the serratus. You can also regress this down to the floor if you don't have the ability to do this and you lose it or you compensate by opening up in that TL junction or your thoracolumbar region. So you wanna make sure you're locking down your core, locking down the rib cage, and if you lack that mobility, you can go ahead and regress it down to the floor. But we're gonna use the wall version for now. I'm gonna take the band, right? Place the roller right where my wrists are, and then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and get a squared up stance, screw my feet in, create radiation, squeeze my glutes, and then I'm gonna draw down my rib cage and squeeze my abs. From here, I'm gonna keep my hands nice and wide. My elbows are straight down. As I go to roll forward, I'm pushing in to the roller, and I'm trying to get up as far as I can without losing it here. So I'm nice and tight, coming back down, keeping the band tight. I have to drive up, pushing into the wall, and then back down. Okay? You can do about 10 to 20 repetitions, do about 3 to 4 sets with this. Again, this isn't just for maximal strength, it's also a mobility drill, and it's a corrective exercise if you need to work on that mobility and overall strength in the serratus anterior. On to the next one. Okay, so now you see we're on the decline bench. We're gonna do those transverse rotations, working on the transverse abdominals and also isometrically tension on the abs itself. Again, you wanna make sure that you're keeping in good posture, so I'm gonna place my hands on my ribs, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and open up my elbows here. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm not crouching over, not rolling forward. I wanna keep everything tight, keep a neutral spine. I'm gonna come down to a 45-degree angle, keep my elbows out, and then I'm just rotating. Okay, you can do about 15 to 20 reps each side, and I would do about 2 to 3 sets of that. You can also load this with the med ball. Make sure you still keep that neutral spine and you rotate through. Again, you don't want to roll the shoulders forward, but still keeping that the shoulders are nice and back and tucked in. You can also use a dumbbell here and keep it as long as possible. Remember, the further you go outside the midline, the harder it's going to be. So for the last one, we're going to do the vertical band pull apart. So band is hooked up vertically, obviously on a rig, or you could do it on a rack. The main concept here is a lot of times when you see band pull aparts, a lot of guys use their upper traps a lot and they start to roll their shoulders forward. So this is actually a cueing technique or a tactile cue that you can use to make sure that you're drawing down or depressing the shoulders. And this is gonna help you maximize the ability to pull that band apart with the rear delts and rhomboids. So you're gonna go ahead, we're gonna activate the lats, boom, right here. You're gonna bring it down to about your sternum, right, to the end of your sternum. You're gonna go right there, make sure the palms are facing down, your hands are nice and tight, and then you're just gonna pull apart and keep those shoulder blades down. Pull apart, lock down your core, lock down your glutes, and pull. Pull. So the lats are on right now, and I'm pulling it apart, staying strong. Now these can be done in high repetition, right? I would aim for 20 to even 30 repetitions. Remember, we're talking about joint restoration and overall strength endurance. So you can grab a heavier band if you want and do sets of 15, but I would start off with a mini band from Elite FTS. You can grab this one. It's probably the best bands out there. I know a lot of you guys ask me about bands, so here it is. EliteFTS.com, go check it out. I have no affiliate with them. Have at it, but I do like their bands. I love all their products. Check that out. Again, you want to do about 20 to 30 reps with the mini band. If you're going to go a little bit heavier, let's say a monster band or a heavy band, you want to go ahead, or a monster mini band, you want to go ahead and do about 15 repetitions because the tension is a little bit more. Do about 2 to even 5 sets, all right? And this can be a finisher or even a warm-up to your sparring or to your training or drilling, pad work, whatever, or your strength and conditioning. Okay, so those are the 3 exercises.